Dead End Hip Hop album review. Busta Rhymes, Extinction Level Event 2, The Wrath of God. So a couple fun facts about Busta Rhymes. Busta Rhymes been around for forever. So if you've never heard of him, you're either extremely young or you're just not a hip hop fan. With that being said, I never knew where he got his name from. Did y'all know?
I'm sure B knows.
No, I don't.
So he actually got it from an NFL and CFL wide receiver, George Rhymes. His nickname was Buster. So Busta just kind of took that and had Busta Rhymes. So I didn't know that. Also, Busta is an 11-time Grammy Award nominee. So, you know, Busta, if you don't know, like I said, he's been around for a very long time. And going into this album, I was kind of like, you know, when you have such a good album that came out way back in 1998, the original Extinction Level event, and I love that album, it's kind of like, I don't want you to go back, because sometimes I feel artists can kind of fuck that up because the expectation level is so high. Bruh, so I'm not even gonna front. When I seen it, I was a little, let me add it to the library, but I wasn't necessarily super excited to listen to it. But the last time we were shooting, you know, Rob made a comment, and I saw that he had Rick Ross. And y'all know I typically try not to look at the track list and all of that stuff, but when I added it, I kind of just skimmed it. And I was like, oh shit, you got Ross? Let me go listen to that. So when I heard that song, that particular song, let me give y'all the name of it.
So you listened to that song first?
I listened to that song first. It was Master Fard Muhammad. And when I heard that, I said, oh shit. Nigga, this shit luscious, boy. Let me pause. You know what I'm saying? Then we decided as a group, let's do Busta Rhymes. So I'm like, all right, cool. Let me listen to this motherfucker. That intro, that shit's like almost 6 minutes long. But it set the tone. Just like the original one did. You know what I'm saying? Like he's, you know, the whole world is about to end type shit. And then when it goes to Purge, I love that fucking track. It's dope. Strap Yourself Down, I was like, okay, this is typical Busta. This is the type of Busta that I would expect, and it's cool, but it's just Busta. You know what I'm saying? It was nothing crazy. Czar was dope because it had MOP. Obviously, you got MOP on the track. You got hella, you know what I'm saying, energy and all of that. And I'm like, oh, okay, this is cool. You know what I'm saying? This is kind of what I expect out of a Busta Rhymes album. Then it hits Out of My Mind.
That shit, man.
And I'm like, okay,
it's driving me out of my
nigga.
mind. You probably know that song, did you?
Yeah, no, I do.
That's before you.
I ain't that young. And I was getting it in, you know what I'm saying? But when it hit that, bro, that I'm not gonna front. Like that track fucked me up. I played that one like 2-3 times in a row after the first time I heard it, and I'm just like, yo, the way he flipped the Belle Biv DeVoe shit. At this point, like I said, I didn't know the rest of the track list. I didn't know the rest of the feature artists. So this is the point in the album where it went to a whole nother level. So then, you know, you go forward, he got ODB on this shit. I was like, nigga, is that ODB? I was so lost because I'm like, yo, how do you get ODB to do this shit, right? Then the joint with Q-Tip was dope, but then like the one with Ross, like that is, and Myke, I want to talk to you a little bit about this one, right? Because I feel that for 2020, Ross has been the feature killer. You put Ross on your shit right now, like Ross has been killing every feature. That beat was crazy. I love it because it was definitely different from the rest of the album. Then it goes to the one with Anderson .Paak, and I'm like, yo, what the fuck is going on here? The one with Rhapsody, Best I Can. Yo, Rhapsody did that thing. And I love the fact how, you know, Busta's creating this whole end of the world situation. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, he's giving you real shit that happens on a day-to-day basis, shit that we got to deal with. And that one right there, I don't have no kids. I don't have no baby mama drama. And even all my homies that are single parents and stuff like that, they don't really have baby mama drama. But that was so on point. And I love how Rhapsody can always play the opposite. You know what I'm saying? Always give you that female perspective, whether it's her own perspective or playing a character to make the song make sense. Like, I think Rhapsody fucking outdid herself on that shit. That was super dope. And then it fucked me up again, man, with Where I Belong with Mariah Carey, because I heard the sample. I'm like, nigga, baby, if you give it to me. Yeah, I like that shit.
With Mariah Carey?
Yeah,
Bro, it's not 1998 anymore.
but they kind of like they redid it where it feels new. Like it doesn't feel like 1998.
Yes,
it felt like 20. It felt like 98 to you.
Yes.
That song was dated as fuck.
Very.
It's not one of the best songs on here. I'm not saying like that, but it fucked me up because, like, as soon as it came on, I heard the sample and I was like, damn, like, is he gonna whatever? And I didn't see that Mariah Carey was on that, so I was like, damn. So when it hit, I was like, okay, cool. Like I like the nostalgia, cause Busta, like, he fished for a lot of old school shit that he made brand new again. So I definitely like that. That track hit for me. Maybe not for y'all, but it is what it is. But then the Young God Speaks, he had Michael Jackson on that bitch, and I was like, yo, Busta is if you're a younger person and you've never heard this stuff, and this is the last album ever, right? Just playing into the soundscape that Busta's creating. It's like, man, y'all gotta go back, bro. Y'all gotta go back and listen to some of these old school joints. I know some young people probably didn't even know that was Michael Jackson singing that shit. Look over your shoulder. The way Kendrick floated on that shit. Oh my God. I love the fact
Was
that.
it?
Huh?
Was it? Oh my God.
It wasn't like, oh my God, yes, oh my God.
Look at Feefo.
Oh my God, yes, oh my God.
But nah, Kendrick definitely did his thing. I love how he was starting to whatever, and then Busta, you could tell he's like, hey, look, little nigga, you're not gonna outdo me on my own shit. And Busta did his damn thing on that too. But man, this album, honestly, man, like, I didn't really know what to expect sonically, and Busta fucked me up. Busta really fucked me up in a good way. This was the best listening experience that I had in hip hop so far 2020. Because it really sounded like a movie. Like, I'm not saying this is my favorite album. I'm not saying that his lyrics was here and this, that, and I'm just saying, like,
This was
listening
a
to it.
fun listen for you?
Huh?
It was a really fun listen for you?
Yes. Like, he took me a lot of different places. He took me places that I didn't think that Busta at this age and where he is in the game can go.
I would think if just being out this long, he should.
Bro, I was
But you know how sometimes it is with the OGs of the game, because Busta's now OG of the game. You know what I'm saying? Like, sometimes it's kind of like they missed the mark. And it's kind of like, damn, bro, you're like 4 or 5 years too late. Busta didn't feel like that. He felt relevant. He felt current. He felt like he brought the old school and shit like that and made it new again. So, like, it was just such a great experience for me, like, listening to this project, that I was just like, damn, like, this shit is in heavy rotation.
I think it's definitely refreshing to listen to this album compared to his last two albums, because The Year of the Dragon and Back on My BS was...
Those are rough.
Yeah, those are rough. Those were rough listens. So for him to name it, Extinction 11 Event Part 2, of course the expectations was, I'm like, okay, maybe Busta's probably willing it back in. You know what I'm saying? And one thing I do like about this album that I like about previous Busta Rhymes album that I like is that he's gonna give you style, he's gonna give you good energy, he's gonna give you good presentation. So I feel like with that, he gave me all those with this album. I just want to give a shout out to Knots, the producer. He is the unsung hero on this fucking album, because a lot of the tracks that I feel are like my favorite tracks were produced by him. And dude, Knox, and if you don't follow him on IG, you fucking up, because that dude, I can just go down the rabbit hole on his IG page and this shit be nuts. But yeah, I feel like Out of My Mind was definitely that shit. I was just like, yo, how the fuck you took Poison? Yep. How you take the snares and chop those snares? Yes, and chop those snares up like that for it to come right.
And Busta was so on it, like
shit,
he was.
That shit was crazy, man.
You being the producer of the group, I really felt that, like, this isn't something that Busta could have just been like, yeah, I want this beat, I want that beat.
Right.
It's like you had to create this.
Yeah.
Like you had to be in the room with Busta and be like, hey, how you feeling? Where you want to go?
Yeah.
What's the next track on the album? And literally create it, because all of this stuff you just can't it wasn't already pre-made. Like, it's impossible.
Right. Yeah, that shit was dope, man.
That song was hard. It always, when he raps like that, it always takes me to that song he did with Royce, where they were both rapping on that beat off of Street Hop.
Yes,
I can never remember the name of the fucking song,
but they both was just
my favorite song on
the
there.
way they was just catching the beat so crazy. That shit was wild, man. I definitely like the intro. I mean, besides the Chris Rock talking, but like the Knots beat, because he did a great job of transitioning from the last album into going into this one. And then when it flipped to that damn Ahmad Jamal, the damn the world is yours fucking beat, man, and Rakim. And then when I heard Rakim on it, I was like, oh shit. I was like, I didn't expect Rakim to come on there, man. I was
it's
like,
been a minute since
damn.
we heard from Rakim.
Yeah,
He sounded great.
He sounded great over that instrumental, man. I was like,
what did he say? Do you rep a nation bred for hating? Something like that?
Yeah.
He really sounded comfortable.
Yeah. I think this is my first time hearing Primo Busta Rhymes collab before on True Indeed. That was my first time hearing Busta over a Primo beat. I was just like, okay, that shit was dope. I think that was my first time. I must have forgot, but that's my first time hearing Busta Rhymes over a Primo beat. I thought the title track was dope. Busta Rhymes fucking after Minister Farrakhan said his word, and then Busta Rhymes, that beat, man, I was just like, yeah, this is what I like, but this is elements of Busta Rhymes that I've always liked throughout his years in the game.
Were people mad about Farrakhan being on here? Farrakhan almost had a whole track, didn't he?
Damn
yeah, it was like half of the song.
Were people mad about that?
I was.
Why were you mad?
I mean, I wouldn't
fucking hear no long ass. You know what? If they made it a separate song, I'd have been cool.
Yeah, but in the same song.
So I can't even I gotta sit there and hold my finger down. Cause I'm not trying to hear all this.
Just scroll forward.
This is how you know Myke is old school. He can't even scrub past. Yeah. He said he got to hold his finger down.
That's good. It's all good.
You're not in the digital age, Myke. You fucking up.
No, it's all good. Yeah, I definitely like Look Over Your Shoulders. Again, not the way he fucking chopped that fucking Michael Jackson sample up.
Bruh.
Was so amazing though, and the way Kendrick Lamar was just in his pocket on that flow, I thought that was dope as fuck. Kendrick Lamar, that's not the first time he killed the Knots beat anyway. The Anderson .Paak joint, I didn't even know he produced until later on. I found out he produced that joint. I thought that was cool. The Rick Ross joint was cool. It was definitely, don't get me wrong, it was definitely some skippables on here because of course the album ran a little bit long. I think this is probably the longest album Busta have ever made, which says a lot. But yeah, I thought overall, this was definitely a solid project. It was definitely a great way for him to come back. To me, this is definitely his best album since the Big Bang.
So B, that's why I said it fucked me up, because I wasn't anticipating an album of this quality from Busta at this point, because we had that conversation a couple years ago. Should artists fade away, or you know what I'm saying? And after those last two projects, I'm just like, okay, Busta, you're a legend in the game. You don't need to put up no more stats, right? But to be able to come back and do something like this, especially call it Extinction level event 2. Like, that's why it fucked me up, because I wasn't anticipating.
I knew we had got some good old school Busta Rhymes is when this fool said on the Strap Yourself Down joint, the Jay Dilla joint. He said, "Bing badam bing, think you're listening to the wrong song? Ping pong pow!" Like, I'm like, that's so like fucking classic. Busta. Leaders of the New School Busta Rhymes, man. Like, that shit is crazy. But yeah, overall, man, I thought this was definitely a solid project. I enjoyed it, man. Like I said, Chris Rock, I could have went without Chris Rock. I mean, that was definitely, if that's a negative on this album, it was damn near too much. The intro, okay, I get it. You setting it up, you hype. But throughout the album, I was like, we don't need Chris Rock throughout this album.
Yeah, because Chris Rock didn't necessarily tie it in. He didn't bother me like that.
He bothered me.
This shit was all right.
Damn, Ken, just all right?
Damn.
I wish you didn't have a basketball.
No, I'm just playing.
No, you ain't. Y'all gonna do bust like that.
I just wanted to get your reaction. No, it was good. It was good. I was surprised. Even though I saw a lot of people speaking highly of it, the day it dropped, I think Myke and Rod said Busta wasn't playing around last week. So I hold their opinions in more high regard than anything I see on Twitter. So I was like, all right, well, let me see how good this shit is. And then I saw it was an hour 18 minutes. I was like, man, you fucking shitting me. It was well rounded. That's what I really felt like. It was a very well rounded album that took a sound that could easily sound dated and kind of made it sound a little bit more modern. And I think working with those newer sort of producers like Knots and whoever else
he's always working.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just saying, like, guys that are still current and active.
Oh, I got you.
Busta really isn't active like that, so he can easily fuck around and make a mistake here. But especially when you're pulling out all these old heads, you pulling out Q-Tip, you pulling out fucking Rakim and Pete Rock, and even though I know Pete Rock is still active, but you can slip up, bro. And then some of these features and stuff like that shit can easily sound forced when you're using Michael and Belle Biv DeVoe and stuff like that. So, you kind of gave us a little bit of the old and mix it in with the new, and to kind of highlight what I was saying, like you could see the mistake he made with Where I Belong. Like it's not a bad song, but you know it was a situation where he was trying to force the issue. It felt like more than just make something you know that sounded good. But the shit, man, is that fucking the Don and the Boss, man. That Vibes Cartel, man, god damn. I love what he was doing on that track. And I like the messaging on here as well. When he was talking about systemic racism and stuff like that, I thought that was cool. But overall, man, I thought this was definitely a very, very, very enjoyable listen. I will say it's hard. Repeat listens are hard because of the length of it. That's the only negative.
Yeah.
So it's hard to really just put it on and just let it ride. But outside of that, though, when I did listen to it, especially in preparation for the review, I did enjoy my listening experience.
Yeah, I agree. This was very enjoyable. I jumped on this when I saw it dropped. I was like, damn, ELE2. What's he doing?
Right, because with that, you already know what the title. Yeah, you already know that title name.
Yeah, but I didn't listen to it immediately. But when I saw a couple people that were just like, "Yo, this new Busta's crazy," and I'm like, "Oh shit, okay, let me go give it a listen." And yeah, right off the jump, I was like, all right, this song with Rakim, this is nice. But when it got to The Purge with that weird alarm sound and the beat and the way he was just doing his fucking Busta rhyming, I was like, all right, this is actually,
Really?
I did it. I did it. And I don't feel bad about it. I'm at the age now where I can do dad jokes, you know? But yeah, Out of My Mind, that Poison flip was just dope. His choppy flow over that beat just went perfectly, which that drum break is so fresh. I'm trying to think if anybody's rapped over that. And I'm like, wait, why though? The title track, I don't think anybody mentioned the title track. So you did?
He did.
Yeah, that beat was super dark and it's apocalyptic.
Fucking
and
nuts, man.
you know, every man is free of choice, but no man's free from consequences. It was like, all right, bro. All right, you really doing it. Now, well, I guess I'll save my. Well, no, I'm gonna go ahead and say, you know, that's that line about, you know, your pants too tight. It's been part of the plan, fool. They trying to make emasculation of the man cool. You sound old, okay? It's about time you guys just let that go. All right, the young kids, they like it. You're dating yourself seriously by saying that. Master Far Muhammad, you're right. I mean, I don't know about Ross being feature killer. I'll take your word for it. I don't really pay attention like that, but I will say that the majority of the Ross verses I've heard lately, I've liked, which I'm not a big Ross fan, but I think when you give Ross that lush production, I think he sounds really great.
That's his pocket, Myke.
It really is. I don't want to hear none of that fucking loud fucking, I think I'm so-and-so. I think I'm this guy too. I'm thinking all these dudes. I don't want to hear that shit.
100%.
Give him a nice lush beat with some pianos. And
yes.
Like, all right, bro.
Yes.
I'm still not a big fan of his lyricism like that, but I think the way he's able to make his voice fit those beats just sounds really dope. Busta's flow on You was crazy. Amazing. Crazy. I loved it. The way I'm not a big fan of Busta singing, but the way he was singing and rapping, it just sounded great. Because Anderson .Paak already did it, and then Busta comes through and does it too, and it just sounded great. I think this album is definitely a great listen. It is a little bloated. It's a bit long. An hour and 17, 18 minutes is a bit much for an album, but this dude comes from the fucking 90s. That's not really that unheard of. My only gripe with this album is some of the content got a little bit old after a while. If this was a good 45 minutes, I would be maybe close to what Feefo's saying as far as this being one of the best listening experiences, because it's a fun album. It's a really fun album, but it definitely starts to get a bit stale after about 45, 50 minutes, because it's not like Busta is changing his style that much from song to song. He's definitely taking you different places, which is great. He's definitely showing you that I can do a whole bunch of shit.
Sonically, he takes you more places than he does with his lyricism or his flow.
Yeah.
Sonically, he does.
Themes, it's just like, all right, okay, well, cool. But yeah, all in all, this is still a great project. I really enjoyed listening to this. This made me really happy in 2020 to get a Busta Rhymes project that's really good and that's worlds better than those last 2 projects that he dropped. So this was a good listen.
All right, for me, give me my favorite tracks on this joint. Give me The Purge. Give me Out of My Mind. Give me ELE2. Master Fard Muhammad. Give me You. Oh No, because that shit was, I didn't even talk about that, but that trappy shit was super crazy. I love that, how you flip that. And then give me Look Over Your Shoulder.
Give me the intro. Give me Strap Yourself Down. Out of My Mind. Look Over Your Shoulder. Slow Flow.
My favorite tracks are, let's do the intro. Let's do Look Over Your Shoulder. The Don and the Boss. I'll take Out of My Mind. Yep, I like that joint. And The Purge.
The Purge, Out of My Mind, the title track, Master Fard Muhammad, and You.
Busta, if you watching, look, man, you're OG in the game. You don't need to add to your legacy. I think it's already cemented. However, this was an amazing listen. My favorite listen so far of 2020, just because of it sounded like a movie. You know what I'm saying? It was detailed, and I could tell that this isn't just a type of project that you just, oh yeah, let me get that beat, let me get this beat. Nah, bro, like you had to craft this around what your ideas were, and I think that it was executed in a very good way. But at this point in your career, like I said, man, you're an OG of the game. I don't need a whole bunch of projects. At this point, it's just quality. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't have to be the most amazing thing of your career. It's just that it has to be quality, and it doesn't have to be consistent anymore. Like I said, like your legendary status is cemented, bro. Can't nobody take that shit away from you. So it's more quality over quantity at this point. But this was an amazing listen, so I appreciate you.
Busta Rhymes, if you're watching, good work on this. I'm glad you kind of got you back in form. It sounds like you back in your Busta Rhymes form, and that's one thing I do love about this album, man. Like I mentioned before, is your presentation style, energy is always what I've always loved about you as an MC. You've been almost 30 years in this game, and you show no signs of slowing down with this album, man. So yeah, good job, and good, man. You and Knots, man, y'all since '98, man. You two have definitely, put your foot in when it comes to making these dope songs and these dope beats, man. And I'm still glad you still keeping the streak up with getting a J Dilla beat on your album. You always been trying to make sure you get a J Dilla beat on your album, and you did it with this one. So, but yeah, overall, I like the album, man. Good job,
Busta, man. Good work, man. As a guy that grew up listening to you, it was good to hear and know that with this project you can make music that I can listen to and like without sounding old or dusty. And that's important because rappers used to age out of the game. So I think you're showing, like some other rappers now, that you can, extend your career here and there. And I think if you just space it out a little bit, that's cool, because I didn't expect another album from you. But nah, man, this was good. I enjoyed it. And outside of trimming the fat here or there, I think it's cool. But yeah, overall, good work. Appreciate it.
Busta Bus. It's a great project, man. Great project. I think you definitely outdid yourself for what a lot of people would be expecting 2020 Busta Rhymes to sound like. But yeah, this actually has me interested in seeing what you do next. This was a very, very good project. I hope you don't take this the wrong way, but it was a lot better than I was actually expecting it to be. So yeah, I'm glad you are showing people out here that you haven't lost it. You haven't lost a step. You influenced people back in the 90s, and you're showing them now why that happened. So great project. I'm definitely curious to see what you're going to do next. After an hour and 35 minutes worth of songs, I'm thinking that next might be a little minute, but that's okay. That's okay. Do your thing.